What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be making the fire tabs that we talked about in last week's episode. If you haven't seen that video, check out the Firestarter's link right above here. So let's see what we need to have to make these today. What we're going to need is some petroleum jelly. You can get this for like $1 at CVS. You need some lint, a candle, some cotton balls, a container to hold all your tabs once you're done, a small stick or skewer. I'm just using a kebab skewer today. Works really well for this. And some wax paper. And then something to mix everything together on. I'm going to be using this little plastic plate and a plastic fork because then that way I don't ruin my wife's stuff. Another thing that comes in really handy is some sort of water bottle or rolling pin or something, just to be able to roll it out once you get it in there and make it nice and flat. We'll show you how that all goes in a minute. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our lint and we're just going to pile it up on our plate here. Just break it up a little bit. Get a good pile of it. So a little bit off to the side. And then get a good scoop of your petroleum jelly and just mix it in. So you just keep adding petroleum jelly until you turn all of this into basically a big pile of paste. And depending on how much lint you use, it can take quite a bit. You also may want to have a paper towel handy because this can get kind of messy. Alright, so we've got our lint really pasted up and kind of just a big mush pile now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some of that and we're going to put it on our wax paper, and we're going to fold the paper in half and then roll it out real thin. So let's do that. Make sure you put it on the wax side, not on the other side. Make sure you put it on the waxy side. It makes this work a lot easier. And you just fold it over on itself. Spread the paper out. You're basically going to sandwich it in between there. And we're going to take our water bottle or rolling pin or whatever round dowel you happen to have that you're going to use. And you just start rolling it out nice and thin. If any of you have made the homemade potato candy, this is a lot like doing that. And if it comes out the edges, just put it back on your plate and save it for later. You can use that to make more, or just chuck it at the end when you're done. You want to try and spread it out as much as you can. The thinner it is, the easier it's going to be to roll it up for our next step. Now that we've got it rolled out nice and thin, you can see we're going to take this and we're going to open it up. And this is why we do the wax side. I'm just going to peel back one side of that wax paper and just peel it back. Now you can see we've got the lint rolled out real fine on one side and then nothing on the other. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to take our dowel and we're going to roll this up nice and tight. We're just going to get a nice little roll out of it. So we're going to do that, but what we're going to do first is I'm going to cut some of this paper away because we don't need all of that excess paper. Just need a little. Get rid of this. We'll take our dowel and place it on the paper here. What we're going to do is just kind of flip it over the edge, nice and fine. And we're going to try and get it to wrap around itself here on this paper. Alright, we're just gonna start rolling this, and we're just trying to keep it as tight as we can. We'll just roll this all the way up. Alright, so we're just gonna try and get it as tight as possible. So once we've got that, we're gonna cut this into sections here. So that's what we'll do next. Cut those big ends off. Try and even this whole thing up nice and square. Or as square as we can for something that's round. Cut around and get to that dowel. We can pop that out of there. Get our dowel out of the way. Get those end pieces out of here. Next, you're just going to start cutting these into little sections. I try and cut them about 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more. This is all ballpark, but each one of these, once we're done, is going to have a burn time of at least 4 minutes, if not longer. Which should give you plenty of time to get your fire going. Some of these bigger ones will probably have an even longer burn time. So I made smaller ones and they've done, if you look at the size difference here, this one's going to have a much longer burn time, probably 6 to 7 minutes. This one's going to have about a 4-minute burn time. So the bigger you make them, the longer your burn time. The smaller you make them, obviously the less your burn time. These have all given me at least 4 minutes of burn time. Alright, so we've got all our little pieces here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to drip wax on one end just to kind of get them all tightened up here. So we're going to get these all standing up, put them all next to each other here. We're just going to do wax on one side. Let's get these all lined up and then we'll come back here. Alright, so we've got all these bunched together nicely. They've all just got them all standing up on end here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our lighter and our candle. This is just a little birthday candle thing. And we're going to drip wax on the tops of all of these to kind of seal one side. And that just kind of keeps them from getting messy. It also gives you more life when you get these things lit. Then it's using the wax and it's using the petroleum jelly to burn, and it lasts a lot longer. So let's get that done. Alright, so we'll give these a few minutes to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do the other side. But when we do the other side, we're going to add a little piece of cotton to them. That's what the cotton balls are for, and that helps them to light a lot easier when you go to strike them, if you're going to light them with ferro rods or something else. If you plan on using just matches or a lighter, you can just seal both sides and then you're done. But if you want to use ferro rods, magnesium starter, something like that to light them, then it's a lot easier to do that if you have a little bit of cotton at the end stuck to the other side. So we'll get that set up here in just a second. Alright, so the wax is dried, and now we're going to do the other side. And like I said, we're going to use the cotton balls here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take some of this cotton. I'm just going to rip little pieces off. And I've got my little container here next to me that once we get these done, we're just going to put them into that little container and have them for our pack. Alright, so like I said, we're just going to put a little bit of wax on one side, and then we're going to stick some cotton to it. And we're going to do that with all of these. Just a few drops of wax, so it'll stick. And then stick the cotton to it. And that's all we're doing. We're doing that with each one of them. So we'll be back when we're done here. Alright guys, so we've got these all done. Like I said, they just look like this now. They're not very big, but they burn for a long time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our little piece here, we're going to lay it down. And we're going to get it lit here. cotton ball starts to burn, it sucks up some of that petroleum jelly, and then it catches the rest of it. So as you can see here, we're just burning it, and it's got a good flame, and that'll catch just about anything you have that you want to get lit. You can add all your tinder piles to it and everything else, and get yourself a nice campfire going. Alright guys, so that's a simple DIY fire starter. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you thought about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week with another great video. We'll catch you down the line.